How is it going, guys? Yas from Trading Vanguard. I am a technical trader who trades short squeeze, momentum, and volatile stocks. All of the information shown on this video is not financial advice and just my opinion. So, welcome to my first video, guys. Welcome to my channel. And today I wanted to begin my first series of doing analysis for tickers of all market caps, mainly tickers that are hot and trending, or also any requests from yourselves. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. So the very first ticker we've got on our list, guys, is DJT, Trump Media Technology Group. And the way I kind of wanted to split my content of the video is I wanted to give you guys the current price action, the bullish scenario, the bearish scenario, and my opinion right at the end. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the current price action. So looking at the weekly chart, guys, it's not looking good. We can see from about April last year, it had an almost high of, I want to say, $80. And since then, if you would have bought at this point, it's dropped a whopping 87%, which, if you're a trader with no sort of technical, knowledge or experience, you'd have a fat red position in your portfolio right now had you not have sold. Like I said, guys, it's just been getting crushed. We have had a few technical reactions. However, from a long-term perspective, it just doesn't look good. However, recently we have seen the price action start to pump up, and it does look like the bulls are starting to step in with bullish momentum, which potentially could mean it might be ready for a squeeze. So what I want to do now, guys, is switch my drawings on. There will be a lot going on in my screen, but I'll be happy to explain it for you all. So let's talk about the bullish scenario, guys. So from what I've seen for DJT, whenever we've seen 2 consecutive green candles, it means that historically there's always been a strong reaction to the upside. So we can see just from its last, its mini squeeze, or we can call it a technical reaction, we can see that this happened in April this year, which was when we had that market correction, and it hit a low of, I want to say, around 15.35 roughly, and it had a reaction of, guys, almost 100%, 78% for, someone who's a swing trader. That is some serious profit. Now, why do I think we are potentially ready to, short squeeze? Apart from the 2 consecutive weekly green candles, we've also come back down to its, I want to say, its most reactive liquidity zone. Now, looking at it from the past, guys, we can see it's had 2/3 violent reactions, and it's mainly always been at this green box which I've highlighted, which is roughly, if I make it clearer for you guys, roughly waiting at around $10 to $12. So this is right now where its most reactive zone is, and we can see from the past it's just kind of shot up. And the last time it hit this box, we can see it had a huge reaction of just under 400%, guys, 361%. So that is some serious profit. So yeah, it is sitting at its reactive zone, guys. Also, we can see here that DJT is currently in a descending triangle pattern, guys. Now, from its first squeeze, guys, we can see it's just been controlled by this triangle. And if we can see here, it's had squeeze reactions, but then been rejected instantly. Squeeze reactions, instant rejection. Now, what's going on for us here? Well, it does seem, guys, we could potentially be at the end of the pattern, and it could cause for a massive reaction to the upside. Furthermore, if we switch over to the daily chart, we can see, guys, that DJT has a bunch of open gaps to the upside. you know, there is just on, you know, on my chart right now, we can see a open gap of four different price levels. So we've got $11.90, $14, just over $15, and we've got the whopping big price level waiting at $39.57. So, you know, we know historically, guys, whenever a stock has open up gaps waiting, if you see on my table here, they are closed around 92% of the time. So DJT, from experience, guys, has had a total of 70 open gaps and it's closed 65 of them, which gives it a probability of 92%. So we've got a super strong potential to having all of these gaps close. Also, what we can see in our indicators below, we can see a MACD crossover as well as the RSI building strength, especially if I go over to the 4-hour chart, guys, especially on the 4-hour chart. Now, for anyone that can kind of read when a bullish reversal is taking place, especially on the RSI, is when the price action comes down, which we can see here. However, at the same time, the RSI is starting to build strength. This is a bullish reversal. So this is what I see for the bullish scenario, guys. Now, looking at the bearish scenario, guys, for me, it's one main thing, all right? DJT has this vital open down gap. So just the same way I spoke about its open up gaps and how, you know, they have a probability of getting closed, we have the same probability of the open down gap waiting to get closed. Now, it is unfortunate that it has started to react before it closed this gap. However, that doesn't mean that DJT couldn't come down. So for the bearish scenario, guys, DJT could still come back down, even though we are within this green liquidity zone. And in my opinion, this is, you know, amazing price levels for the stock. It doesn't mean that the stock can't come back down to this $10.04 level to have it closed. And I believe if we look at the 4-hour gap, there's a $9.97 gap, $9.97 gap waiting there. Now, there is the potential, like I said, for it to come back down. However, if we didn't come back down to this price level, if we did come back down to this price level, guys, and didn't have a reaction, and I mean an immediate reaction. So if we did come back down, I would want an instant reaction. If we didn't, that could be super bearish, and we could just continue following this trend channel. Not this trend channel, this descending triangle, and the stock could just tank lower and lower, creating more all-time lows. Another bearish reason I can see is we have been rejected at the second EMA line. Now, for those that don't know, you know, EMA lines are kind of huge points of supports or resistances. Now, we can see that we've had an instant rejection at the second EMA line. Now, guys, that could be bearish. However, next few days will be super important to see what will happen to the upside. And yeah, at the moment, you know, we can see the RSI is slowly starting to come up to the overbought, but that isn't a concern. So my opinion, guys, like I said, I do believe DJT is at an amazing price level right now. However, it could be better. In an ideal world, we would come back down to the open gap at $10.04 and have it closed. And then, you know, that's, in my opinion, where we should have the strongest reaction. And then, you know, if we did break this pattern, you know, that's, in my opinion, when the party would start. However, there is, of course, always the scenario that we do drop down and, you know, go past further the open down gap, and that could mean, guys, creating new all-time lows. So next week is going to be super important for us. What I will do is keep you guys all updated with another video as time goes on. So what do you guys think, guys? Is DJT a buy or a miss? Please drop your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you have any other ticker suggestions or would like any other stock analyzed, please drop it also in the comments below. If you found this video useful, please drop a like, and if you're a similar trader to myself, please consider subscribing, as I will be posting more videos soon. Once again, I want to say this video is not financial advice. Trading can be extremely risky, and one should always have a trading strategy to stay safe. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.